Do you want to know what's the best platform where you can get clients for your business? It's literally an app that you have on your phone, and you probably spend the most amount of screen time there, but as a consumer, not as a producer. And I talk about the Instagram. And if you are using Instagram to get the leads, you are probably in the 90% of people that does it completely wrong. And I'm saying that only because I was there for the 90% of time. Doing cold outreach from shitty profiles, having 10 profiles to do the cold outreach, posting how-to videos, or trying to catch the wave of going viral, or run paid ads from agency profiles which are completely empty, and you're trying to book sales calls that lead to nowhere. I want to tell you there is a better way that you can do that. It does not include cold outreach, posting like a maniac, or even running a personal brand. In fact, it's a completely faceless approach where only with 50 followers you can close your first deals. And in this video, I will show you the exact roadmap that you can follow to learn how you can use the faceless Instagram agency brand to close 2 clients literally every week. But before we continue, where is the proof that this actually works? Well, for the past 4 years, I've been trying to sell my agency services. And in that process, I literally tried everything named above. Cold outreach, organic, doing paid ads, doing sales calls. And I have my whole journey documented on Instagram. There is a link below if you want to check it out. The approach that worked for me was running a faceless Instagram brand, but running it as a personal brand. This is the exact approach I will show you today. We will go through what exactly do you need before you begin, why people actually buy, and I will give away my exact funnel that I run for my agency now in 2025. So it's not something that was working 10 years ago. It's working actually right now. And it makes me 10K per month pretty consistently at this point. So let's go into the whiteboard. The first thing that I always mention, probably in every video that I make, is niche and offer. Because without this, nothing is going to work for you. No matter how good of a funnel you run, if you don't get the foundations right, nothing will work afterwards, right? So you have to figure out the foundations to be proper in this way to make anything work afterwards. First of all, speaking about the niche, it doesn't matter if you already have your niche, you have to think about it in layers. You need to go deeper with it. So the first layer is be more specific about what part of your niche you plan to work with. So I hear a lot of people saying, I work with business owners and I help them with this and this. Okay, but everybody is a business owner. You do B2B, but who is your client? Are you working with the service-based businesses? If you do so, what service, right? Are you working with dental clinics? Are you working with construction companies, with pet studios? I don't care, right? You have to know exactly who your ideal client is. And that's only the first layer. When you dive into the second layer, who has a buying power to buy your services? Because you want to avoid the brokies. Let's say, for example, in my case, I work with construction companies. When I first started, okay, I nailed down the first layer where I know, okay, my niche is service-based businesses and I want to work with construction companies. But then I got to the point where the only people that were messaging me and the leads that I was getting were brokey leads. And I couldn't find a way to get out of that trap. Out of 20 leads, maybe two of them will be qualified. Everybody else they wouldn't have the buying power to buy my services. So what I found out is you have to focus on desires and problems of the rich leads. So you have to find, okay, out of 20 leads, 2 of them were qualified. How does their life look like? What problems do they have? What do they talk about? You need to speak with them. You need to find a way to get in their minds. You have to be able to differentiate those two. Once I cracked this part, and I will show you exactly afterwards what I did there, all of the leads that I was getting, like 90% of leads that I was getting were qualified people. So craft your ideal avatar based on the 2 layers above. Then we dive into the offer part where you have the simple offer formula. So what do you need to cook your perfect offer? You need 4 things. You need to know your niche. For example, it's construction companies in my case. You need to know the avatar. Who is the avatar with the buying power? For my case, it's established construction companies. And what I said here for the second layer, the way that I avoided brokies was just mentioning on my ads, mentioning in my content, this is only for established construction companies. This is only for construction companies with 10 plus employees. That's it. And my lead quality increased by, I don't know, 500%. I don't even know the number. It was crazy. Third thing is you need to have the results of your service in numbers. For example, I do Facebook ads as a service, but the result of my service is 1 to 3 leads. And then you have a time frame of your delivery, and I go for day, right? I have 1 to 3 leads per day. You can go for monthly, what you get to your clients per month, you can get for week. Whatever you find as a time frame that works well, you have to test this part out, of course, in order to know what works for your niche, and then you go with that. So the offer formula and the offer statement that you run and you have in your head is, I help niche to get results in numbers in a time frame. To repeat myself here, I help established construction companies to get 1 to 3 leads, 1 to 3 qualified leads per day. That's my offer. And I run that offer for 2 years now. And the only thing that I changed was this part of I only work with established construction companies. Everything else stayed the same and the results were radically different. Probably I could change something more in this part of the numbers and time frame to make it even better, but I'm good with this. I get, same for me, I get like 3 to 5 leads per day, so I don't have to change anything there. Now let's talk about this part of how to run your offer, where to run your brand. Do you want to run a personal brand? Do you want to run a faceless business brand? I see this trend now where everybody is speaking that you need to run a personal brand to sell your services. In order to answer, is that even true? You need to ask yourself, why do people buy? So yes, people need your service, they need your product, they like your offer, they're in pain, maybe you can solve their pain, but the number one reason why people buy is because they trust you, they trust the company, they believe that you will deliver on the results, on the offer that you presented to them. So how can you get there? Is it necessary to have your face? Can you do it faceless? And I want to tell you that based on my experience, you don't have to have a face in order to get trust from people. The goal is to create trust in yourself, in your company, and in your offer. If you can get all of these 3 things, you will be able to sell. But if I had to choose where to go here, I would run a faceless brand, which I do for my agency. Faceless, it's easier to set up, it's easier to run, it's faster to run, you don't have to record yourself. There is no expensive cameras, there is no time that you need to set aside to improve your skills in front of the camera. If your only goal is to sell your services, you can do it faceless. And what I've seen, it was anomaly. I didn't even expect that. At the beginning, I started to run my agency as a personal brand to get clients in. And what I've seen is that people, when I work with construction companies, they want to work with actual agencies. They don't want to work with me as a representative of a brand. So I switched to faceless agency profile and I've seen crazy difference. So this is how this new approach was born, and it happened last summer. I'm going to show you exactly how I do so. This is the profile that I run for my agency, and I basically treat it as a personal brand, but there is no face. Okay, I'm gonna explain you what we have here. We have a professional logo. Inside of the bio, we have what we do. We have the offer basically there, who we help. Then we have a link to the landing page where I have a VSL where I sell. I don't do any sales calls, I just send them to a VSL. I have these story highlights where I basically present my results. I have testimonials, system broken down. And inside of the pin post, I have who are we, what is special about the system that we run, what is special about the offer. And then I have the best case studies and the best testimonial there. And that's everything for setting up the profile. Now, once you have this, there is a question of how can you get the leads? What is this new approach that I speak about? And the main question with lead generation is, do you want to run paid ads and paid traffic, or do you want to do organic stuff? The answer is you don't want to do any of them separated. You want to combine them together because you need paid ads to get the right audience, and then you want the nurturing part of your organic content to make people want to buy from you and to get that trust from them. And I do that in the 1% funnel. I'm going to explain exactly how that works. When you have the profile set up, it's a faceless profile, it's an Instagram profile, you have 3 things that you have to do inside of the funnel. On the top of a funnel, we have the new followers. So we use Instagram ads in the form of a profile visit ads or lead generation DM ads to get the new people in. Because we use Instagram ads, we have that offer statement on the ads, and the only people that we get as a followers and the audience that we create are people who want our offer, right? So if it's a direct offer there, you don't offer any how-to videos, you don't do any of those. If you just say, if you want to get 1 to 3 qualified leads per day, just follow me, DM me or whatever. The only people that will come in the form of a follower right here or as a DM will be people and businesses who are qualified, right? So that's the first step. After you get them as a follower or as an inbound DM, you need to transfer to the nurturing part. And we do that by creating the 1% content. That this is the organic part of the funnel. So we use stories and we use reels to get people to trust in ourselves, in our system, and in our offer, right? Not everybody is going to buy at the beginning, right? They see the offer. Sometimes this actually happens. Somebody sees the offer, they like it, and they decide to go with you. In that case, you need to go to the sales call. But because I hate sales calls, I decided to do all of that nurturing part and showing people that I actually can deliver on the results that I presented them on the ads. I get all of that inside of the nurturing part. So I use 1 to 3 stories per day where I show them actually what is the service. I speak about those things that rich leads want to hear, right? And then I present them with the offer every day, literally every day. We're going to go into that in a second. And then I use Reels, not so often, maybe once per week, maybe even less. When you run the funnel for long enough, you don't have to do the Reels, you can just run stories every day. After they see enough of my content and they're sure that I'm legit, that my company is legit, and that I can deliver on the offer because they see it every day, we enter inside of the conversion part in DMs. So what I do in part of DMs is I basically qualify them. I replicate the qualifying call, which I did before. I ask them all the qualified questions. If I see they're qualified, I just send them to the VSL. If they say yes, they're interested, they'll be following me for, let's say, 1, 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months. They decide to go with me. I just send them a link and they pay. Now, this is a long-term game. You can see in this case, sometimes it can happen that a lead goes from cold to client in 6 months. Sometimes it happens in 2 days. But what you get here with the nurturing part is you catch all the people. So not everybody has the same threshold to decide to buy. Somebody can buy in 2 days. Some people need 6 months to be convinced that they want to go with you. So I don't care. Like, I'm going to catch everybody with this way. So one more time, you sell them on trusting you, your company, and the offer using stories. So naturally the question is what to post on stories to get the trust. Well, you can show the results of your service in the form of numbers. If you don't have any results, you can offer free work for somebody if you don't have clients, or you can just create an imaginary client and do the work and present that when you're beginning, right? It doesn't matter, did you had clients before? What matters is that you are secure that you can deliver the offer that you are presenting to people. Second thing, you can show how your service works, like step by step, explain a little bit, like connect the offer to the step-by-step systems, what you do there, so people can understand a little bit more. You can speak about why your leads need your service and how their business will be better if they work with you, right? So you can future pace how their businesses would look like if they decide to go with you. And finally, you can show behind the scenes of you working. For example, on a laptop, you can show your environment, you can show your day-to-day, right? So they can see there is an actual person behind the brand. Although it's faceless, you need to show there is an actual being behind all the posts. And the beauty of nurturing with stories is you can make daily offers. So in my example, I run 1 to 3 stories every day. First and second story, I just speak about one of these things, right? Or 2 of these things, whatever. And for the last story, what I do is I just repeat the offer one more time. If you're an established construction company and you want to get 1 to 3 leads every day, just DM me here and let's see, can we help you? And that's it, literally every day. And they won't get bored of that because the reason why they followed you is because they liked the offer that you had on your direct ads. The first link below is going to be the full breakdown of this system. If you're curious about how the ads look like, how the stories look like, the whole schedule and everything together, you can go and check it out. If you actually follow this funnel, and it's so easy to set up, you can expect 2 clients every week and you can get those results literally in the first 1 to 2 weeks.